Why are the nicest people okay with being friends with a mean person?
Because probably you speak my love language. Welcome back to the Smart Nonsense Podcast. We talk about entrepreneurship, self-development, and challenging norms. I think we're on 130, 140, 150.
Round up, 200. Congrats.
Pop, congrats. All right, let's get right into it. I want to ask you a question because you woke up today fearing the ghost. The ghost of Smart Nonsense is past. And by past,
I'm haunted,
I mean
dude.
a week. 2 weeks. Our feedback loops are too short.
They're really quick. No, I'm scared because we talked to this Ali. That was our last call. We teased it the whole episode. We finally got to it, and it was the biggest fizzling out. What do you call that?
Letdown.
Yes, but there's a little. In 8th grade, we had to learn all these idioms, and one of them, a flash in the pan. It was the biggest flash in the pan. It's like when you're supposed to be something and then it fizzles out. That was Ali and the call and our hype for it. But it was dope. We basically got on and he's like, "Yo, let's just sign up. We're in it." And then at the end, he's like, "Actually, I didn't realize it's kind of expensive. We got some branding. Should we start after that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, fuck it. Start after that. Well, let's just get you in Slack." We add his boy Angus in the Slack. Ali never joins. And I'm like, "Angus, is Ali joining?" Ghosted.
Oh, Angus is in?
Angus is in, and I DM'd him in the chat. I'm like, "Yo, Angus, where's your boy Ali?" I got nothing.
They'll be back, Pop. They were stoked. I'm more excited that after all of this, after all the stress, we figured out his name is actually pronounced Ali. Not Ali. Ali. And that's a win, Pop.
That's a win. The small victories, that's all it is at the end of the day. I love it.
Did we get the name right?
That's a nice one. I had a couple points.
What kind of transition is that? That's a nice one. Looks over. I had a couple points.
Here's the transition, all right? Speaking of ghosts, what happened to fucking Top Shot? Where did they go?
That's a ghost of Top Shot's past.
I've never seen a ghost of Top Shot's past harder than that. That was insane.
This is why you can't do pre-production, Pop. It's a mess.
It's such a mess. Because
There's no
pre-productions
rules in pre-production.
We can control post. We can't control pre. I told them. We're not pre guys.
Strictly a post company. The thing with post is everyone stops giving a fucking post because it's shot. It's done. Everyone's moved on. Now let's just make it magical.
Right.
Pre
and
is too many
default
cooks
to
in the
us.
kitchen.
There's a lot of cooks. We got another project where you just had to lay down the law because they're like, "Hey, we have this idea. We want to shoot it. It's a big launch video." And I'm like, "You're trying to use that as one of your 10? That's not. We don't." They're like, "We want to default to you guys for like brainstorming and figuring this out." And I'm like, "Hey, I don't know what strategy means to y'all, but we don't strategize individual videos. It's like overarching."
Here's the problem. Pre-production is the opposite of consistency. It takes so much just like inertia. There's so much inertia. It takes so much to get started. Even you're like, you come on this podcast, you're like, I don't have any talking points. I'm like, just hit record. Just go. Something
that was me
will
this
happen.
morning. I'm like, I'm going to do these fucking taxes if my life depends on it. It took me like 10 minutes. It was a joke.
We talked about the 5-minute hack last time. Just set the timer and go. See, now in pre-production, I just lost your video, but in pre-production, there's no 5 minutes. It's open-ended. It's that group project with the open-ended deadline way in the future.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. When it's open-ended, you're fucked. It sounded like they had a serious deadline, but I don't know what happened to them, but they're
Top
gone.
Shot?
And that's fine. I'm cool. But we keep telling everyone like, "Hey, we're in the era of you can just shoot this shit with your smartphone right after this call." Like there's absolutely no
And we'll
need.
make it beautiful.
You won't even be able to tell the difference. Like, for example, Dharmesh's inbound video. We do that. It's a fucking super important. It's their big HubSpot's big annual meeting. I don't know what you call it.
Keynote.
Sure.
Keynote.
And he had this whole production company come in, and HubSpot was hooking him up. And then he's like, yeah, there's just too much pressure, and it sucked. I want to reshoot it. And we help him set it up. Granted, it was kind of a pain in the ass, but like it was literally just him and his camera, and it looked as good. You couldn't even tell the difference. I don't think anyone noticed.
I think it totally switched.
Yeah.
He didn't look like himself in their video.
Right. And that's why I'm like, y'all gotta quit it with all fucking
now
in your head about the pre-production.
So it worked with Dharmesh because he was one cook in the kitchen. He was one person, and he's so down and proactive to help. He's like so
right.
It wasn't like you guys figure out this pre-production for me. You guys do the hard shit for me. He was in the trenches like, let's get this right. And
God,
that's where
guy.
It works.
Hey, here's something.
Yeah.
Had me rattled all night. So Dharmesh, he's a lovely man, right? Last night, I'm you know my like pseudo girlfriend that I'm texting
it's
to bring
your
up.
Real girlfriend.
No. Well, wait till I get to the point. She just added me to her like best friends thing on Instagram, and I'm like, okay, that's interesting.
Oh, like
and it was
closest
just a video.
Friends?
Yeah, whatever it's called. It's just the green one, and it's like a video of her just like doing this in her kitchen. Hey, if you're a podcast listener, fuck you. But she's just like this, and then she like does a little dance move, but isn't like looking at the camera. And I respond. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, WTF is this? And then she it was really bad after that. She's like,
Why'd you WTF is this? I couldn't really see you. You were pixelated in the video. But I think you were just doing a little jig.
It looked like one of those. You ever go into a live stream and it's like before everyone joins and they're still kind of like getting everything ready, and they're not really paying attention to the live stream. It was like a 5-second like, does she know she's being recorded? What's going on here? It was weird. I mean, she like looked cute and stuff, so maybe that's why it posted. I don't know. But
so
I could have just said,
answers.
"What is this?" But I wanted answers.
The expletive pop.
It was the WTF. It was a little hard, I guess. So it led down this rabbit hole of like, she's like, "Hey, I realized you're actually mean," and I'm like, "Huh." No. It wasn't like an It was like, this isn't a joke. Like, you are a mean person. And I'm like, huh.
You're nice to me, Pop.
That's what I'm wondering. There are a lot of people that I'm mean to. And I was trying to get examples, and she's like, okay, the way you talk about Henry's girlfriend. I'm like, okay. But what I tell you is what I tell them. Like, they know, like, I'm just like, hey, we don't get along, and we don't talk very much. And then
I guess the objectivity could be mean spirited. Even if
it's the why add the fuck. I always add the fuck because it's funny to me. I'm like, I could say what is this, but I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like that's funny to me, and I think I don't know, because sometimes I'm actually genuinely, like, to my family I'm kind of mean. My mom would say very mean. So I was just like, Dharmesh, why I realized like this whole connection. I'm like, Dharmesh is a lovely human being. I think we've only had great things to say about him, and now I hear from a lot of people basically like, I'm mean. I'm only really nice to like you and Ais and like super super close friends, but everyone else I just like.
But you're kind of mean to us, and that's the humor.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, am I just mean to everyone, and y'all are okay with it?
You have real mean, and you have fake mean, I guess. Hey, you know what I do? Yeah, what?
Well, I was trying to say, like, I just put on a character a lot of the time. But then I'm like, is that really a character, or is that just my personality? Because with my family, I'm actually kind of mean.
And you're not mean to the 38 people we work with.
I almost wanted to cite that as, like, because I am, like, they are probably more scared of me than you. But you're also the nicest person out there.
But you're tough. That's different. You know what I like? I like this new girlfriend you got. It's like a segment. We get the girlfriend segment, and then somehow you pull the tangent in, and it makes sense. And now we got to figure out why you're mean.
I don't know, but it really rattled me because she says, the more I get to know you, the less I like you. And I'm like, that's tough. That's a really hard hitter right there. But she also goes off on these tangents at like 2 a.m. all the time. And the next day, like whenever I talk to her on the phone, everything's just chill. It's like super friendly. Like we like each other a lot. But the second it's over, I think it's like, I don't know. It's like I don't want to say like the charm of in person because that sounds like I'm doing something, but it's like...
Hey, you've never been a good texter. You've never been a good texter.
That's why I'm like one-way communication. I can't do it. I tried sending some audio messages. I'm like, I don't know, dude.
You can't do it, Pop.
Part of me is questioning. I'm like, okay, is this like something... Well, I got to figure out, maybe I go to a therapist when I'm in New York.
I was going to say, this is where we insert the ad slot for BetterHelp.
BetterHelp. Maybe, dude, because I just don't know. I don't know because I'm like, I think I'm just so used to everyone shitting on themselves. Like, I'm not used to compliments. That's something that like I feel these nice feelings, but I don't say them. I like because that seems that's like a like that shit's
just
you know beat into me.
What's probably happening is, I don't need compliments. I don't need them. Ais probably doesn't need them. But where you run into trouble, I keep raising my eyebrows on accident. I don't know why. I've got like an itch on my forehead. Where you probably watch this on YouTube. Where you probably run into trouble is with people whose love language is like words of affirmation. Your mom.
That's definitely it.
Certain friends.
That's definitely it.
I don't think most of our employees need words of affirmation, right? We're all just cranking. It doesn't do it for me. That doesn't do it for me.
Huh. Yeah, I'm physical touch. That's all I am.
Exactly. And so there's a good book. It's called, I didn't think this is where the pod was going to go. It's called The 5 Love Languages, right?
Right.
And the essence is like, you will never feel love, or your love tank, he says, it won't be full unless the other person is speaking to you in your love language. You're not going to feel a full tank of love unless you're being physically touched all the time. Just like I won't if I don't get acts of service all the time. Pop, I'm delegating to you.
So wait. Does that book say you should match up with someone that speaks the same language?
No.
Oh.
The book says you need to learn to speak somebody else's language. Just like you want to learn to speak Spanish.
Spanish is hard enough. You're trying to make me do 2 at once.
Just like you are trying to learn to speak Spanish, you need to say to yourself, okay, today I'm going to give this person 3 affirmations, 3 compliments. In my little journal in the morning, I'm going to give this person 3 compliments. Do that for a week, see what happens. Do that for a month, see what happens. You got to speak other languages, Pop. See, you're so much like, give me my language, baby. And I'm not going to physically touch you. I'm not.
Touch me.
So I hope you can have kind of a spectrum of the 5, like physical touch and I think it's gift giving. Don't do it for me. And words of affirmation. But the 2 others, like acts of service and I'm forgetting the other right now.
I'm going to send her the test. I'm going to be like, hey, you take it. I'm going to take it. I remember. I forget what the other one I had was. Oh, that's interesting.
Your mom needs your affirmations, Pop.
I don't want her touching me, though. But my love language is touch. But when my mom tries to touch me, I like fucking recoil. I'm like, don't touch me. I have a weird relationship there. That one's actual therapist needed. But
yeah, I don't know. I forget if it can be different languages with different people. I also don't want touch from my mom. That might be a Freudian thing. But I also hate physical touch. So.
Yeah, you're a fist bumper now.
This is what happens when you just hit record, Pop. You get a lesson on love languages.
It's really been on my mind. Well, because, dude, it's like, God, I don't know, dude. I don't know how people do this. It's a lot. It's a lot of mental energy. I'm like, what am I doing here?
It's a lot of. I told people in high school all the time, like, another relationship is like really an extracurricular. It's like you got 24 hours in the day. Do you have another 4 hours for somebody else's energy?
Well, I'm like, basically in her mind, there's just like, it's constant dissonance in her head because she's like super sweet, super nice, like very monogamous person. I'm just a fuckboy. And she's like trying to change me. And she's like, but I don't want to change you. Like, you're just who you are. But she likes me a lot. It's weird. It's a weird thing. And I'm like, it's kind of like when we were trying to force the friendship with Vivian. And it just like, it just felt wrong. And then once you cut it off,
baby. But see, you're so binary. You won't like your tolerance for putting up with something or faking a love language or anything. You're like, you just don't need it.
I don't get. To me, everything feels. Yeah, there is no spectrum to me. I don't know why. Or like Jack, I guess he's on the spectrum. Like, there are a lot of people that are kind of on the spectrum that I'll like kind of fuck with occasionally, but like.
Oh, you're talking about the autism spectrum.
No. I'm talking like a spectrum of friendship.
Oh.
Where I thought you were talking about that, where it's binary.
We're throwing all kinds of spectra.
I thought we were talking about like they're either like I fuck with them or I don't. And there's very little in between. Yeah.
Yeah.
My whole thing was like, okay, you and Ice, I think pretty much everyone agreed. Like, you would have a funeral, you two would have funerals, and like everyone, like there would be 1 million people there. Everyone wants to come and speak. Whereas mine, I'm gonna have like 2 people there, and that's
and
just,
they're gonna
like,
be physically touching you.
They're gonna be rubbing my body, but
right in the open casket.
It's just Slick Rick. He's still alive for some reason, or I'm in a rollerblading accident. But my point is like, okay, yeah, kind of what you said before. Probably because you can put up with it, you get it. But like, why are the nicest people okay with being friends with a mean person?
Because probably you speak my love language. Go on YouTube.
Hitting on me once I get out of Chicago.
I'm blushing. No, right? Like acts of service in business and entrepreneurship. That's my shit, Pop. That is the shit. I don't know what I
okay, you're talking when I delegate all this stuff to you? I'm like, how about you do me the act of service? Yeah,
well, it goes both ways. It goes both ways. Like, if you've created a business that I can act to serve all day long, I get off to that shit. If you can also compete at that level and give those acts of service back, I'm Pop, dare I say.
No, but we weren't
turned on.
We were still pretty easy. there it is. Hands down.
What's the thumbnail here?
Just you with the boner. And me active servicing you.
Boom! Love languages.
Easy pistol Pete. Don't get any ideas.
Done.
Pistol Pete.
It's done. You said it. It's done. It can be blurred out.
Pistol Pete's first thumbnail ever was a butthole. Anal fissures and freedom.
Anal fissures and freedom. Go listen. These thumbnails have been on fire, dude. I've seen emergency pod and like
they're everywhere.
Well, there it is. Pitching the tent. Pitching the tent. So, Pop, yeah, I think you should go to BetterHelp. I actually want to sign up because I don't know why not. I think it's $40 a week. All the YouTubers are plugging it as their ad.
Yeah,
you just need to talk. You need to. You probably just too internal.
But here's the thing: I feel like with a therapist, it works better in person and when you have a deep relationship with them. So I'm like, I feel like I'd be wasting my time for the next couple months if I'm just doing someone online and then I switch to a person in person, or maybe I can find someone in New York that's online. That's actually
maybe Pop. Maybe Pop.
Huh.
So where do we go from here?
Well,
tie a bow on it, would you?
No. I don't think we ever talked about. Well, maybe I wanted to talk about the opportunity in the book space, but my team meter is kind of low now. I kind of want to do my love language test.
And we there's oh wait, I have it here. Should I go?
Wait, yeah, let me see that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go grab it. You do. I'm gonna. That's all we talked about. So I should read some out loud.
Yeah, do something like that. I'll distract everyone. Okay, so the 5 love languages. Yeah, let's go along with this together.
God, I'm a beast.
They're just selling me books. You already back?
Okay, let me read some of these out. There's a test at the end, and you're supposed
Words
to
of affirmation is 1. Great callback with that, or great recollection.
Okay, Pop, tell me.
1, words of affirmation. 2, quality time. Oh, I think that was 1.
Yeah.
3, physical touch. 4, acts of service. 5, receiving gifts. Yeah. I think I'm quality time and physical touch.
Those tend to come together, Pop. I was acts of service and quality time. Okay, Pop, tell me this.
Yeah.
Would you rather she gives you a little gift as a token of your love for each other, or you get to spend uninterrupted leisure time with her?
Oh, leisure time. I was like, can the gift be leisure time?
Okay, one more. Okay, Pop. One more.
It's a 2-question test, huh?
Well, it's pitting different love types against one another. And so you pick them up, and then at the end of this 30-question thing or whatever, you score your love languages.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, Pop, riddle me this. What are you looking at?
There are a bunch of birds. Not birds. What are the big ones that hunt? The
Hawks.
Hawks, something like that. They're
Yeah,
like,
they're
fucking,
gonna
hey,
get
look
you.
at this. I can turn it around. Fuck it.
They're going to get you, Pop.
Can you see that?
The audio
See those
podcast? No, they're all pixelated. You got 320p streaming through the interwebs.
Well.
Okay, Pop. Would you rather sit close to her or be complimented by her for no apparent reason?
Sit close to her. Dude, every date I ever go on, I'm like, yo, get the fuck over here. And I pull them. I'm like, actually, there's a really good TikTok I saw of like Nick Jonas or something pulling some girl in a movie. I'm like, that's nice. I hate distance between people. It fucking freaks me out.
So there you go. Diagnosed. Well,
Okay,
Pop,
I'll take it.
I think this is a good book. If I were to summarize for Gen Z and you apparently and myself and others, not everybody has the same love language. There are 5 of them, and nobody will feel loved unless they are receiving their love language. And you need to learn how to speak one another's love language if you want to succeed.
I like that, Bo. Well, so yours were acts of service, and what was the other one?
I like that, Bo. Let me string this along. Mine, I got words of affirmation, then quality time.
Oh, you like words of affirmation?
Hey, that's kind of weird. I said I didn't need them. I don't know how that happened.
What the fuck? I figured you would have been
But
I would have.
Well, they're all tied. Sorry, they're all tied. Words of affirmation, quality
They're
time,
tied?
and acts of service. Yeah.
You're the most fucking wiffly waffly human being I've ever seen.
You know what's the lowest? A 1. Physical touch, Pop. Don't touch me.
That's funny.
Don't touch me. And gifts are pretty low.
Huh.
I don't know how words of affirmation got so high. It might be dependent on the question, or it might have been dependent on the day I took this test and I was feeling lonely.
That is, you should take it again. Hey, I'll
take it again. I do know quality time is nice. So, well, hey. Pop.
I guess the title of this one is the 5 love languages, and it's you pitching a tent.
Yes.
And me. Oh, good God. All right.
On top
awesome.
of the 10. So, until next time, the Smart Nonsense Podcast.